Welcome back to Razzberry Tea Time. I'm your host, Spenning Tea, and joining me as always is my co-host,
I am Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan, what's going on with you this week?
Well, other than the massive amount of money that I made from you having me on the show this week, not a whole lot.
Millions of dollars.
My career's pretty much over.
Yeah, that checks. Now you just appear on small podcasts.
Yeah. Holding on to the good old days.
The good old days of podcasting?
Yeah. No, well, now.
Well, a little bit later, we're going to be getting into Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1.
Did you know that Bob Dylan was born in Duluth?
No, but I did know that you should subscribe to our podcast and share it with a friend, and be sure to check out our YouTube as well in the links below. Be sure to leave a review as well. That could really help us out and then, let us know how we're doing. I did know that.
You did know that? That's good. That's good.
That is good.
I tend to know useless facts about a lot of people, whereas you seem to know a lot of stuff about things that people should actually be doing with their lives, like subscribing to the podcast on various platforms.
Something else they can do is check out our new merch.
Oh, yeah.
On Teespring, also in the link below, at the Razzberry Tea Shop, Razzberry Times Catchphrases. Cameron, what does your thing look like?
A jumble-imation of words.
It is a jumble-imation of words.
I appreciate.
Mine is. It's fine.
I appreciate that you attempted to encapsulate my brilliant speaking phenomenons.
Brilliant speaking phenomenon.
If I use big words,
big and little, and
smart.
big and small.
if I use big words, sometimes it nails, and I sound a lot smarter.
Lot smarter.
Yeah.
So much smarter.
Uh-huh.
Hey, do you want to eat some sandwiches?
Not
some
really.
news sandwiches?
I just ate a little bit ago.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a stain on my shirt now. Oh,
maybe
I'm
next
paralyzed.
time.
I'm not actually paralyzed, but I can't turn my head to the right.
You can't.
Like, my head does not work correctly. Emily made some mac and cheese, and now I have, like, a stain on my shirt because I couldn't eat it correctly.
Segue time. Before we get into the new sandwiches, what happened with you today? Why are we recording the show a lot later than we normally do, and why do we sound more tired than we've ever been while recording this?
Because I had to go to the clinic, because I can't turn my head, because I was trying to pop my ears, and then this happened. Yeah.
That's fine.
Some new sandwiches.
I mean, it's not fine, but it's fine.
The first 3 episodes are scheduled to drop of Peacemaker, starring John Cena and being made by James Gunn, and they're going to be dropping on HBO Max on January 16th, 2022. The first 3 episodes are titled Episode 1, A Whole New World. And world is spelled like WHIRLED, like world. I don't know. I didn't know how to describe that word other than spelling it. And then Episode 2, Best Friends Never. Episode 3, Better Goff Dead. I've heard a lot of good things about the Suicide Squad, especially John Cena in it, so I'm super excited for this show now.
Wow, that's next week, isn't it?
Even more. That is next week.
Wow.
I'm pumped.
I'm not.
Pumpity pumped.
I'm worried.
Why?
I might like it.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
You know what else happened this week?
Some other stuff. Let's get into it.
Netflix is making money moves, okay?
Oh, always.
So it's being reported that a live-action Pokemon series is in early development at Netflix, and it is to be produced and written by the Lucifer co-showrunner Joe Henderson. And it's going to be in the similar style to Detective Pikachu. So, yeah, that's big stuff.
You know what else is happening at Netflix?
I bet it's a Final Fantasy live-action series.
Seems to be that way.
It seems to be that way. I think Netflix is making big money moves because they're like, dang, Disney's got all this stuff going on with their Marvel and Star Wars TV shows. We need some big name. Basically, we need to draw people in from other mediums because like Netflix already has a bunch of original movies, but the way that they're going after all these like known platforms already, I think that's huge. Like Pokemon, like Final Fantasy, and then at the end we've got a little bit of news from the set of Knives Out 2, also currently going to be on Netflix.
I feel like Netflix has this idea of, they looked at everything that's going on, and they're like, you know what, let's do this. We can only go up.
I mean, similar to Amazon, they've been in large amounts of debt for a very long time.
Well, yeah,
it's like this big strategy of just, we are going to lose so much money, but also make a ton of money at the same time.
Remember that time Jeff Bezos thanked all of his employees that he cut their wages on during a pandemic, and he was just like, thank you for funding my giant, very
rocket.
obscene-looking rocket.
Yeah, that happened. Gotta love it, Jeffy Bezos.
CEO. Did I introduce myself as Jeff Bezos in an episode?
No.
I feel like I really missed the mark on this one. I really should have, with all the stuff that's going on.
You should have.
I should have. Oh, well. Bob Dylan works. I mean,
Bob
not
Dylan
really.
Does work.
Not anymore.
Not that hard. He's just here making $1 million on our small podcast.
Yeah. Born in Duluth. That's all I can tell you.
What's going on with Ant-Man?
Oh, yeah. So, I don't get the significance of the ugly rabbit, but director Peyton Reed shares a photo of the ugly rabbit and confirms that principal photography has begun on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
That's huge.
Huge. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's honestly great. You know what that means? More Kang.
I Kang resist it. That didn't work. That didn't work.
I think the ugly rabbit's cool. I don't know if it's actually going to make an appearance in the film, but it's the same rabbit that Scott gave to his daughter Peanut in the first Ant-Man.
Oh, Gotcha.
That's the significance.
I was like, I don't remember. I don't watch Ant-Man, okay? I watched it once.
And yet you call yourself a Paul Rudd fan.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Really?
No, as soon as you said the rabbit he gave the Peanut, it popped into my head when she just like has it in her hands and they think she's going to like freak out and she's like, I love him. He's so ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, a reboot of the Pretty Little Liars series, is currently on where? At HBO Max and casts Bailey Madison in a main role.
I never finished the first show. I think we had 2 seasons left before they took it off Netflix. So I don't know how I feel about this.
I think it's free on something. I think it's too soon to reboot it. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't know my opinion on it. The show was getting good when I was watching it. And then I
watched it like season 1 and 2. Like that's when I watched it with my sisters.
When it was only season 1 and 2 or when it was coming out?
I mean, yes, both of those kind of. I don't know. Now I'm confused. But you know what I'm not confused about?
Predator.
The new Predator movie titled Skull, which will follow the Predator's first journey to Earth. John Fox says, quote, it will actually be more akin to The Revenant than it does any film in the Predator canon, end quote. I think it's going to be a really unique take after the last Predator, which was just, it was fine, I guess. It was weird. You didn't see it. I know you didn't. It was kind of a weird movie. It was weird.
Definitely didn't watch it, so I wouldn't know. So
definitely did not.
This is some news that I already knew about, and I'm glad I actually somewhat know what I'm talking about while reading the news for once.
Me too.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special has some information that has come out via, what is that, Collider?
Collider?
Yeah, sure. There you go. I can read. So it's under 40 minutes, and it will require viewing before Volume 3. So yeah, that's cool. Because viewers will need to learn things before Volume 3, I guess.
You know, Collider's like a very well-known news outlet, right?
I got it from Screen Rant, but okay.
But they got it from Collider, which was an exclusive, so you got to give credit where credit is due.
I just like the idea, though, that even... So, you know, other holiday specials that we've seen, like the Star Wars holiday specials, usually aren't canon. Yeah. But their idea with this is, yeah, no, you have to watch this, otherwise Volume 3 isn't going to make sense. And I'm like, you know what? At least if it sucks, it's still part of the universe.
Just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Actually, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer canon.
Yeah,
That's the joke. That's the joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sucked, and now it's no longer part of canon.
You know what else sucks? PBS canceled Arthur after 25 years of service. The little anteater is off the air. Well, probably not off the air.
Maybe if he wore his headset correctly, he'd still be on air.
Maybe if he wouldn't punch his sister.
Yeah, what a little butthead. Arthur's a little weirdo, a little bald weirdo, a little weird bald aardvark boy.
I only watched Arthur. I think the last time I actually watched Arthur as a child, I probably was 5 or 6. But then I would watch it ironically because of the memes that were associated with it.
So you've watched Arthur within the last 3 years?
Not an actual episode, but a meme cut of Arthur. Yes, I have. It's the same as Caillou.
Ugh. Okay, let's get that rinsed out of our mouth.
Oh, why?
Some sad news.
Oh, yeah, very sad news.
On the set of the Breaking Bad prequel series, Better Call Saul, Season 6, Bob Odenkirk, the star of the show, suffered a heart attack. He's now in a stable condition. Like we talked about earlier with the Suicide Squad, James Gunn comments and says, quote, Bob was one of the first famous people I met when I moved to LA. He was always encouraging and amazing to me as a young artist. My heart is with him and Naomi and their family, end quote. So yeah, this has been a real big shock for a lot of entertainers because we've had news before, but most of the time it's older people other than Chadwick, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been old people that aren't that relevant anymore, and this is someone that's gotten hurt, and they're still very much in the spotlight, so it's just kind of heartbreaking.
Robert Downey Sr. would be one of the older ones that we were talking about this at work the other day. He died relatively recently, and I was like, haven't seen anything with him in it. Don't know his work, but he is a beloved actor, so I don't know.
Yeah, so it just sucks to see, especially when, like, I'm watching How I Met Your Mother right now, and he's a pretty recurring guest star on that.
Odenkirk?
Yeah.
He just seems to pop up in shows, doesn't he? Like, I'm not saying he doesn't have big roles on his own, but he was in an episode of The Office as well.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
You know what else is great?
I'm trying to remember where else I've seen this guy. Oh, a YouTube video. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what else is great? Oh, I can tell you what else is great. The Suicide Squad has had a perfect rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. I got there.
The Suicide Squad had a perfect 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes after 46 reviews.
Mm-hmm.
The current record for a superhero movie is Into the Spider-Verse at 97%, so we might be seeing that get broken here pretty quick.
I feel like you didn't trust my reading ability there.
Did you trust your own reading ability?
Clearly not, because I said potatoes twice before I got to tomatoes. So.
Hey, T's and P's are pretty close. They shouldn't make them so similar.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know. I'm super excited for this movie. Just more stuff keeps coming out, and I'm just really excited.
Watch it be absolute garbage.
It won't be. Tiffany Haddish and Lakeith Stanfield are eyed by Disney for a Haunted Mansion reboot. Have you seen the Haunted Mansion original movie with Eddie Murphy?
I did.
Yeah, I rewatched that recently-ish.
I haven't seen it recently. I saw it before 2010.
Oh, I think it's from like 2002. So, yeah, that makes sense. You were probably a kid.
Definitely. Because I watched it and I was like, I'm not watching this ever again. Never watched it again. We had it on VHS. That's how old it is.
Yikes. Veteran developers from studios behind Call of Duty, The Last of Us, and God of War from a new studio development team under the title That's No Moon. Wow. I wonder if they're Star Wars fans.
Wow, I wonder if they're going to make Star Wars games.
Depends on what happens with that license here pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but those are a lot of good lead developers from those studios, so let's see what happens there.
Yeah.
You know, got a new trailer this week?
Yeah, hold on. I got some great news about a new trailer for this week. Oh my gosh. Ghostbusters Afterlife gets a second trailer. That's pretty nice, you know. Some reactions are mixed, but seems to look good. What would you say?
I think it looks good. Have you seen the trailer?
Oh yeah, I have.
Really?
Yeah. I watched it after reading this the first time while I was highlighting stories I wanted to read. I also watched the new Shang-Chi trailer, which also came out this past week.
You know it didn't come out?
No. This is my joke. This is my joke.
Really? I don't think it's your joke.
The No Way Home trailer is set to release later in January of 2027.
On a serious note, is it concerning to anyone else that the trailer for this movie is not dropped yet?
No.
Is anyone else concerned that it might be hot garbage?
I feel like we know that the movie's going to be bad, so they're just keeping us in anticipation because they're like, well, if we send this out, they're actually going to be able to see how bad it is.
It sounds like you're growing concerned.
I am very concerned. Are
you a paranoid schizophrenic?
No, you are. What?
What?
Okay, maybe I am paranoid.
What?
What? Never.
So we got some Flash movie news. Want to know what happened?
We saw Ben.
No, I want to tell you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me because I also saw this trailer.
What trailer?
Oh, never mind. That's not.
What trailer did you see? I'm confused.
We're not talking about this trailer. Never mind. It's not.
What trailer did you see?
It's not a trailer. I just messed up because. You don't have your
there were
lines
some
highlighted.
behind the scenes shots of someone on a bat cycle for the Flash movie, which is actually kind of funny because the stunt double for the bat cycling is the same person that did the bat cycling last year for the Robert Pattinson, the Batman movie.
I hate that.
Right? It's the same stunt double. So Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson have the same stunt double. But people are like, oh, that's funny that they had the same guy. It's because he's a specialist for motorbikes. That's why it's the same guy. People just don't realize that. It's fine. Basically, someone hit the bat cycle, so they had to stop production.
Do you know how many of the same stunt doubles get killed in a movie? Because that's their profession and they're the best at it. Like, say Fast and Furious, you got all these people doing the crazy driving scenes before they crash a car. I bet you it's the same guy in every car because they're trained for that. So
yeah, that's probably a lot of the same drivers. Then you have to pay a lot less people.
That also true. Less insurance that way.
Other stuff that's kind of concerning, in my opinion, from the Flash movie, that there is a little leak about Ezra Miller's Flash costume, and it looks like the only part of it that's physical is his helmet, mask part. Does he technically have a cowl like Batman? What is the definition here? Let's just say mask. Only his mask was physical, and the rest he had like the motion capture kind of suit on. You know what I mean? The motion capture suit. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do know somewhat of what you're talking about.
That's good. Yeah, that's concerning though. Okay, so the armored suit from BVS, a lot of that was CGI because otherwise Ben Affleck couldn't see or move in real life.
Okay, so it appears that a cowl is like a hood that is connected to a cloak. So Flash does not have a cowl. Batman has a cowl because his cape is a part of his hood.
Cape. Yeah. Well, in some iterations it's not, but whatever.
Well,
that's concerning because Green Lantern suit was also fully CGI. So
you know what other suit was also fully CGI and they managed to pull off pretty good?
The ones from Endgame that don't get that much screen time, and when you actually look at them, they don't look that great. Those ones.
I was gonna say the Deadpool suit, but that's also not true. So
the Deadpool suit, I swear, I don't think Ryan Reynolds on
more or less the eyes.
I don't think that Ryan Reynolds is on set as much as people think.
No.
It's just another guy in the suit, and then he's
too busy filming the movie Free Guy.
This movie that's never gonna come out.
I'm ready for it, dude.
It's never gonna come out.
Every time I get an ad on YouTube, or like not an ad, a trailer for it on YouTube, I just sit there and watch it. I don't even skip it. I just watch it.
That's pretty weird.
I'm so excited.
You know what I did skip? Marvel's Avengers game. You know it's getting an expansion? Black Panther War for Wakanda. Basically, the Black Panther War for Wakanda DLC is going to be released on August 17th. Didn't this movie come out like a year ago and no one liked it?
What movie?
The Marvel's Avengers game?
That's a game, not a movie.
Oh. Yeah, I'm a silly boy. Okay, big news story. Huge news story.
Big.
Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney.
Again.
For its release of Black Panther on Disney+. This is not again. This is just new. Reportedly, Kevin Feige is upset with Disney, quote, angry and embarrassed, end quote, at the legal battle and is siding with Scarlett. And now Emma Stone, star of Cruella, is said to be, quote, weighing her options, end quote, on whether she should sue Disney as well. And basically, Disney's rebuttal to the legal action of like the suit that Scarlett Johansson's lawyer posted was that she's being mean. She needs to think about the pandemic and how it's affected people.
Think about the children.
Disney is trying to make her seem like a villain so they can get on the public side, but I'm pretty sure everyone's kind of on Scarlett Johansson's side. Maybe that's my take. Cameron, what's your take?
I feel like we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more of this. The whole the talent versus corporation battle, stuff like this, because with the streaming service stuff, if you're releasing stuff alongside theater releases, why would someone go to a theater when they can just stay at home on their couch and spend an extra $20 just to have the movie for however many times you want to watch it till your payment's up? You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm guessing like these contracts are built in with like box office numbers. Like you get 1% of all earnings at the box office. And by taking sales away from the box office, which was clearly what was happening with the Disney Plus release of Black Widow, is that a lot of people were just watching it at home. So then it had a huge second weekend blunder and dropped a lot. Like, yeah, I'd be upset too. You're losing a lot of money, especially if it's money that you thought you were getting.
Yeah. No, I fully understand that. I'm just saying, I feel like this isn't going to be the last one. We're going to see a lot of this coming up in the next couple of months and maybe even years, depending on how this one turns out.
Well, I just think they should have foreseen this a little bit. And I'm sure Scarlett Johansson's team, after they announced that it was going to Disney Plus, was like, all right, we'll wait for them to release it. Like, we'll let them release it. But we're not going to go to them beforehand and see if they can alter the contract to include Disney Plus earnings. Like maybe for every view on Disney Plus, she gets $1 or something because it's $30. And then, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, alterations should have been made to the contract before they put it on Disney Plus from Disney's side. Like they should have gone to the actors, especially ones that are going to be making money off of the box office, and done it that way. Like, yeah, I'd be upset too.
Yeah, me too. Imagine.
You know what I'm not upset about, though?
Imagine, right?
I'm imagining.
Imagine that Knives Out 2 is wrapped filming in Greece.
It is?
Yeah, now they're heading to new location.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That was not long. That was like a month of filming in Greece. So I'm guessing they're just getting a lot of exterior shots there and then going to do a lot of stuff either at a new location or just in studio. What are your thoughts?
I have no thoughts on this because, didn't even know. I thought that they only recently just started filming.
They did.
Yeah, so like they're going quick. But then again, I also don't know how many locations they have to film. So
you sound like a stuttering Stanley today.
What?
There so many locations to film.
Are you making fun of my speech impediment?
No, I'm just. I think your mouth is trying to say words faster than your brain can produce them.
That's how I work.
Well, that wraps up our new sandwiches.
And
Cameron, you know what time it's for?
Can I just say real quick? I think no one can see this but us. But this news segment was it was everywhere. So I have highlighted ones that I read, and I go through and I pick through those, and then Spencer has ones that he reads. Yeah, can I just say, the highlighted news stories didn't even need to be highlighted. We were just in each other's business the entire time. It's fine.
Well, yeah, you got in my business, so I was I got to get in your business
You started it with the potatoes, man. I mean, tomatoes.
You couldn't say the word tomato.
I still can't. I said potato.
Also, it was happening before. It's fine.
You are a butthead.
No, I'm not.
I want to talk about it at table talk. Let's go.
Table talk. What'd you do this week?
No, what'd you do this week? I'm mad at you.
I watched a lot of How I Met Your Mother. Like a lot. Like 2 seasons worth.
You have issues.
Yeah, we're kind of getting there. And so do you, so don't even.
2 seasons in a week?
I mean, they're 20-minute episodes. It's not like a 45 thing. You know, it's different.
That's fair. We're about to watch an entire season in a day, so.
Yeah. Then I also began to rewatch the Pirates of the Caribbean series, and so far I've watched 1, 2, and 3. And then, honestly, I have not seen 5. So.
You've never seen experience. 5?
Dead Man Tell No Tale?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so I like to think of the first 3 as like the main narrative story, and then the next 2 are like wrap-up stories and spin-offs.
It's kind of like what Toy Story 4 is to the Toy Story movies.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I feel like you can get the full story of pirates in the first 3, but then if you want to dive into their characters, I would say watch the next 2 after that, because they have some more character development, but it doesn't affect the overall story.
It's mostly just Jack Sparrow, because Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley aren't even in 4. I don't know if they're in 5, but I know they're not in 4. And they're like some of the main people, so it's whatever. So,
sorry to get off topic here. This is kind of what I want to do, a Pirates episode where we just do the 3 movies, the trilogy. The first movie, Curse of the Black Pearl, Jack Sparrow is the side character, whereas Will and Elizabeth are the main characters. But then towards the end of Towards the end of Dead Man's Chest, they're like, let's make it more Jack's story from here on out. And then they just kind of followed Jack while also giving Will and Elizabeth their conclusion to their story. And then they're like, this guy right here, Johnny Depp, big money in this guy. And then they made 2 more movies with him, and they both kind of flopped. But, you know.
Well, they also
still enjoyed them.
The Lone Ranger movie. You seen that?
I did not hate that movie.
He plays a Native American, even though he's not.
I didn't hate that movie, but it was also one of those movies where it was so slow, you thought it might pick up somewhere, and then suddenly it was just over.
Yeah, I've seen it once, I'm pretty sure, and that's all I've heard about it, too.
Didn't like it or hate it? It was just kind of there?
Yeah, I think a lot of people hate it, though.
Oh, no, I didn't like it or hate it. I had a lot of their Lego sets, though. They had some cool Lego sets. You don't really get many Western Lego sets. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any because I don't really like Westerns that much, but yeah.
Oh, well, that's why you don't like Amish Morgan, huh?
I don't know. Like, I've tried watching, like, old Westerns with my great-great-aunt, and it's just, there's better movies than this, man.
Oh, yeah, no. I know. Have you seen the ones that Reagan was in? Those are pretty good. Bonanza?
No.
Oh.
Then I played some Minecraft, much like you. I finished the Nether Ceiling Farm along with Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. And then I added a beacon in there.
There's a beacon in there?
Yeah, so then you can kill the pig guys even faster.
Wow, that's nice.
I know. It was big brain. I mean, we did beat 3 withers at once, so.
You're taking like half of my stuff that I did this week.
Yeah. And then we went out to eat with you and Stanley. Then after that, Emily's mom came over and we hung out and got some Papa Murphy's pizza.
What did you eat when we went out to eat?
I got a crispy chicken ranch wrap.
Oh yeah, that's what that was. Yeah, I was gonna say you guys all kind of got like wraps and
stuff. The exact same thing, yeah.
Yeah, I had a chicken Alfredo, which is kind of like if I'm going to a restaurant, the first thing I try is a pasta. Because I feel like you can gauge from a pasta if their food's going to be good. Because if the noodles aren't good, it means like, okay, well, maybe I just don't need the pasta. But then you have like the sauce or the meat. And if either of those two are bad, then you can probably almost guarantee that some of their other stuff with those same ingredients wouldn't be as good either. But no, I enjoyed it. It was good stuff.
Yeah.
I guess you could argue the same with a wrap, because you have like everything in there except for sauce and noodles.
I mean, there's kind of sauce if you count like ranch sauce.
Yeah, it's more of a dressing.
And like the noodles is just carb, which is the actual wrappy part.
Yeah, but that's not from the same.
I feel like a lot of food is basically the same thing, just in different forms.
I saw a TikTok where this guy was trying to explain to me that all forms of food are either a soup, a sandwich, or something else. And then they went into an explanation.
Something else, huh?
Well, I can't remember what the third one was because I stopped.
That person literally said something else. So I was like, oh, I think it would have to be something else. Did you know that everything in the entire world is just something else?
Did you know without something, there's nothing?
Wow, that's insane.
Wow, I'm excited.
Other than that, yeah, man, I'm moving to mornings pretty quick. That's going to mix up my schedule. It's going to be a really hard, difficult time.
Yeah, we might not
weeks in a while.
Especially how the show's been going. We might not get this thing done ever again.
That's not true. Eventually.
I hope that's not true.
I have to go borrow a car because my car is broken and I can't get into a shop for a while, so I have to borrow my mother's car.
And then every time Spencer comes to work, he's going to say, I'm in me mom's car. Vroom, vroom.
Too bad I won't see you.
I feel like you would.
I don't know.
In passing.
Other than that, yeah, like I'm dead. My neck hurts really bad and I can't really move.
That escalated.
So Cameron, what'd you do this week?
Well, I too played a lot of Minecraft, probably more than any healthy being should.
Probably.
Yeah. So just a little bit of backstory here. We had this nice little cottage, maybe not even a cottage, more of just like a shack.
Farmhouse.
Floor with a loft, or like one floor house with a loft. Had a little window on top where I had my telescope I could like look through. Nice little window in the roof. And then we had the beds up top, little kitchen. I burned it down. And I replaced it with a huge colonial mansion. Absolutely massive.
It's huge.
It's huge, yeah. I have this huge library, massive library in the attic part of it.
Yeah, you stole all those freaking books. You stole all of them from the...
Yeah, and that still wasn't enough.
Well, I can't think of what it's called right now.
The Stronghold?
The Stronghold.
I'm sorry.
I thought it had the word end in it.
Did you want them? Because I went back there like 2 weeks after we fought the End Dragon. They were still there.
It's been a single week.
Okay, yeah, no, it was like 4 days and I took them because nobody had taken them. But yeah.
It's fine.
You know how many kills I had to kill? How many cows I had to kill to get the rest of those books? Because I only got like half of my bookshelves from that. Yeah.
Well,
no, it was
it's not
great.
like it's that hard.
Anyway, I built a giant wall around my property, and I have this huge entryway with a giant chandelier hanging over. Man, I'm so proud of this build. I'm so proud of the hundreds of hours that I've wasted on this server so far. Hundreds, yeah, no.
Oh, on the server?
Yeah. On the server, yeah.
I thought you were talking about just your house, and I was like, no, I don't think so.
I think at most I have 20 hours in that house, because 4 hours a day for 5 days, that'll do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
That'll do it. Yeah.
That'll do, donkey.
Yeah, and then I almost called you Johnny. Wow, my head's getting very light. The room is starting to spin. This is great.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
I kind of do. Yeah, I'm getting very light.
My pain index is getting very weird.
It's almost certainly due to the amount of smog in the area right now. I feel like we're living in
blood to my brain.
I feel like we're living in central like Los Angeles or something right now. This is great.
Why do you always make fun of LA? Just make fun of Mexico City, please.
I've never been to either one, so I'm picking the one that I think I know about.
Okay.
So anyway, we fought
Mexico
3 withers.
City is smoggier.
I've never been, so I wouldn't know.
You've never been to LA either.
Yeah, but I know more about LA than Mexico City. There's a game based off of it that I played for almost 4 years. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh man. So
what
yeah.
What else did you do, particularly on Disney Plus?
I didn't finish this because you keep interrupting me, Grandma. Okay. The withers, we fought 3 of them. We were gonna do 4, but someone couldn't count. And then we didn't have enough
Cameron,
heads.
who couldn't count?
Me and Johnny.
Yeah.
Mainly Johnny.
You should have seen me and Johnny trying to count the blocks for rings for the nether ceiling farm. It was rough.
Oh, dude, building circles sucks. in Minecraft. Building circles in anything. You know how many circles I've built in cube style games?
12.
More than I ever should admit to.
12.
Dude, okay, hold on. I gotta show you something when the show's over today. I built a Death Star, ring by ring, until it made a sphere.
Okay.
Not a good time. Not a good time at all. Yeah. So anyway, I watched a few episodes of The Bad Batch.
How was that?
You know, I feel like I should get caught up. I only did 2 episodes. I watched the one, and if you haven't seen The Bad Batch up to this point, that's your fault. Okay. There's like. I have another 7 episodes I have to watch before I'm caught up. Okay, so if you're not caught up, stop sallying around. Don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm at the episode where we meet Hera from Rebels.
Oh, you're not that far behind then.
I'm only halfway through. I thought there was like another 7 episodes yet.
No, there's like 3 after that one.
Oh,
including today's episode, there's 3 after that one.
Oh, so maybe I'm not that far behind. Okay, well,
you're not that far behind.
I'm sorry, I told you to sally up. Yeah, no, I'm just at the part where she got apprehended, and
that's like the end of the episode.
And what's his name? Crossfire? Crosshair. Yeah, Crosshair.
You couldn't think of Crosshair?
Dude, I only watched an episode and a half today, okay? Crosshair just shot them down, and then they were being apprehended. So that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. While doing this, I was building my Lego Fiat that I bought on Sunday after having a mental breakdown at work. That was fun.
Super fun.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah. And then as Spencer said, we went out to eat. This new restaurant. It's new to us, but it's been around for decades. So yeah, that was great.
It was pretty good.
I had the chicken Alfredo. It was pretty good. I want to go back.
Had the chicken wrap. I
wonder if you could order from there, like delivery wise. That'd be kind of cool. Probably not.
Maybe not delivery, but
probably not. Yeah, and then worked on some future projects, but also not a lot. You know, small wedding update. Anne's dress is in. That's fun.
That is fun.
Yeah, we thought
Hope you didn't see it.
No,
because we're traditionalists.
It's supposed to come today. Actually.
Oh.
And then we have some
she had
fun.
To pick it up.
No, it's being delivered now, so that's a thing.
Oh, they're not going to Fargo anymore?
Definitely not. Nope.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so that's nice. Less gas mileage. That's another thing too. I put 60 in on gas, and I don't even have a full tank. My car swallows money.
Maybe you should have thought of that when you bought a new car.
Maybe you should have bought that one. I can only pump premium.
Yeah,
that's $4 a gallon right now.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly a choice that was made.
You know what else was a choice that was made?
I have no idea.
Some of the stuff I have planned for this next week, including finishing up the Bad Batch. You know. I feel like I can do that. That's definitely something. Watch more of The Blacklist. We actually did that today, so I guess I should add that to what I did today or this week. We'll watch some Blacklist. It's good.
I'm probably going to finish up the Pirates series and watch some more How I Met Your Mother.
I can almost guarantee that's what you're going to do. You know what else we might do? Possibly stream. I don't know. I feel like
I have a really big itch to play The Last of Us or Batman Arkham right now.
Don't play Last of Us because I want to do that after we finish Red Dead.
I want to play it so bad.
I want to play it side by side. I have it sitting right here. I still haven't opened it.
I want to play it so bad. Are you ready to toss it to future you and me?
I'm not done yet, you butthead. Yeah, so I don't really want you to play Last of Us yet. I want to do that when we can side by side that, because I want to play it too. But
it'd be fun to play it the same way that Nolan North and Troy Baker played it. I think that'd be cool.
How'd they play it?
Kind of like how we did for Until Dawn.
Oh, passing it back and forth and doing it in a day?
Yeah.
I don't think we could do
Nolan
Last
North
of Us
is
in
not
a
good
day.
at video games.
I don't think we could do it in a day.
I mean, we don't have to do it in a day. We could do it over like 3 days.
I feel like we should play Red Dead that way too then.
Yeah.
Like how we have been. So
yeah.
Just a little side note, guys. Twitch.tv/Razzberry Tea Time. Red Dead series that we're playing. We have a character, Arthur Morgan, is now Amish Morgan. I'm like the devilish side character. I make all of the bad decisions whenever I can, and Spencer's kind of just there.
Really don't know what's going on.
Tends to make bad decisions.
You tends to make the bad decisions.
Purposely
like
make
stabbing a
bad
cop
decisions.
in the back.
I didn't stab him in the back. I jumped down behind him, said, "Excuse me, officer," and then proceeded to jab my knife down his throat.
It sounds like you stabbed him in the back.
I definitely probably did. Anyway, show prep. You know, we got some stuff in the work. And Spencer, we should probably work on a series. You know, that thing that's been on hold for a year.
And it's not been a year.
Okay.
Yeah, we should do that, though.
9 months. 9 months tops.
Some big projects in the pipeline.
Definitely, yeah. I have some money I have to move around to, but, you know, whatever.
Whatever.
All right, let's just kick it. Bring us in.
All right, folks. Now we got some weekly tea. We just spent a long amount of time watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Water.
And we only
Part
did
1.
the first half of the series, or season.
Because,
sorry,
you
first
know,
half
we don't
of the season because
we don't
Spencer's...
have 6 to 7 hours of viewing time. Also, like I said earlier about me dying this week, so the drugs that they gave me to help with me dying,
to help prevent you
very,
from dying,
very sleepy.
Yeah. So I guess my first question, this is your first time watching the show, right?
Yes.
Or
like first time ever.
Oh, you haven't even seen shows in passing?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. How many episodes do you think you actually watched out of the 10?
6.
Okay.
6 and 7.
All right, so you already get a D. Only 6 and 7? Episodes 6 and 7?
No, I'm saying like those. Like I've watched 6 and 7. Like probably watched between 6 and 7 episodes, based off of today. Whereas I know I fell asleep for at least 1 to 2 episodes, and then dozed off a little bit in a couple of the middle.
Yeah, no, you slept through a solid episode.
Yeah.
Pretty important one actually. But
yeah.
Yeah. What is the from what you've seen, what is the overall story that they're doing? Like what have we seen so far? Give me a brief summary. I want to see this from you.
Okay, so we got Aang, right? Aang is the Avatar. Aang meets friends.
Mm-hmm.
Friends become allies, and they are trying to get away from the Fire Nation. Because Fire Nation is bad boys. And I'd say so far, like 90% of the episodes have had the Fire Nation in them as the main villains. And then there's been like a couple of them have been like, there's some Fire Nation people here, but there's also like some bad guys also. Like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically right now, the gist of the story is, how do you pronounce the girl's name? Katara? Oh, it's kind of close. So Katara wants to be a better waterbender, and Aang also has to learn waterbending, because right now he really only knows airbending. So I'm guessing each of the 3 seasons is going to be him learning the different bendings, if I'm using my big brain. So like right now, they're trying to get to the North Pole to try and find some more waterbenders, because there should be like a sister tribe from the South Pole tribe, which they are from. So the main story is they're trying to get to the North Pole for right now and avoid the Fire Nation. Is that pretty accurate?
I would say it's a very good brief summary, like what I wanted from you. That's good.
That's all I've got is a brief summary.
Do you know what the big plot point is? Because we had our first, like, the inciting incident of this season was brought up, and I'm pretty sure you were sleeping through that episode.
Okay, give me a hint.
It involves a big ball of fire in the sky.
Yeah, I do not remember that.
Okay, so there's this episode where it's during the winter solstice. Aang goes into the spirit world to contact the last avatar before him because he needs guidance. He's just a 12-year-old kid that needs like guidance and what to do because everyone that could teach him this stuff is dead and has been for a long time. So he goes to the spirit world and basically gets no answers, but he gets shown a few things to which he figures out he has to go to this temple inside the Fire Nation, which is it's a whole ordeal within itself. But basically when he gets there, he finally gets to speak with the previous avatar before him, and he basically explains that 100 years before, in the time that Aang's been gone, the Fire Lord at the time, Fire Lord Sozin, chose to wait for an opportunity where the Avatar had died. So Aang wasn't alive when the war was starting. And he chose
frozen.
No. Roku was still alive at the time of this happening, but he waited for the absolute, right at the right moment when he could do it, because the Avatar was already dying and Aang wasn't around yet. Basically, there's a comet that comes every 100 years, and Sozin knew this, so he waited for the comet. The comet came, Avatar was nowhere to be found, started the war that is still being fought in the show today, and now Roku's like, hey, the Fire Lord that was Fire Lord when I was around started the war with this comet, and the current Fire Lord is planning to use the same comet, because it comes around every 100 years, to finally wipe out the Earth Kingdom, the last main threat to the Fire Nation. And they have, right now it's the winter solstice, and they have until the end of summer is when the comet comes, and they have to try to take down the Fire Lord within that time.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the big one that follows us through the rest of the show.
So now they're still trying to get to the North Pole, but they're also trying to take down the Fire Lord.
Of course, yeah. That's the big thing.
Multitasking.
Aang, in order for Aang to become, or to be able to fight the Fire Lord and defeat him before the comet comes, he has to master all of the elements, because he has to be able to know how to use fire. And being that fire is the last thing that he's supposed to learn, he has to learn the other two first, which would be water and earth. So he kind of has to learn all of them in order to fight.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic. From what you've seen, I told you going into this, I think, that the first few episodes, especially before the mid-season, which we finished on, are kind of slow. And they're just establishing kind of things.
Uh-huh.
Did you feel that as we got closer to the midpoint here?
It definitely seemed like stuff was starting to pick up a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think it's important to recognize that our main characters are all children.
Oh yeah,
and this is a child show at heart.
It really is.
Trusting Jet in that last episode, it was kind of frustrating to watch, because it's dude, we can all tell that he's bad, right?
You came into this
revealed, you can tell he's bad.
You came in feeling that there was something off?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Anytime that's like that, it's kind of with Lando too in Empire Strikes Back, where he's being kind of creepy towards Leia. It was kind of like that with Jet and Katara. So
that's another thing too. We have a three main character dynamic right now, where it's Aang, Sokka, and Katara.
Uh-huh.
And there's this little sprinkling of Katara and Aang have they like each other more than just friends, but they don't have they haven't said anything about it kind of thing. And Jet is that stereotypical character guy that gets thrown in. It's oh, I'm gonna shake things up a little bit here, and then yeah, I agree with what
Aang
you said.
Jealous. Sokka's not a fan, obviously.
It's kind of the Lando dynamic with Han.
It's right when they're starting to blossom with their relationship, it just gets...
I wouldn't go that far. It's just they have feelings that they haven't really expressed for.
I know, but now they're spending enough time together now where they might be getting comfortable enough with each other that they could say something. Because at this point, how much time have they spent together in the show, in universe? Do we even know?
Well, let's see. So the show takes place, all three seasons take place over the course of a year. So
probably at least a month together at this point, right?
There's a 3-week gap between the end of season 2 and season 3. So I bet you the last season takes place within 2 months, if even.
Yeah,
because the last 5 episodes take place within 3 hours, I believe.
Dang. But they spent at least around a month with each other at this point.
I would definitely, probably a month.
Yeah, so they'd be feeling at least a little bit more comfortable around each other. That's kind of what I mean by they're at least getting to the point where they could talk to each other about that kind of thing. So
right.
So far, we've just gotten a lot of build up so far and a lot of world building.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting to a tipping point where things start to speed up and like the world is more or less established and now it's just building upon that.
Yeah. Things, let's see. If I remember the episodes correctly, we have probably, oh shoot. Okay, I need to see where you're thinking from this. Main villain of the show so far. Who are you leaning towards?
I don't think it's actually going to be the kid. I can't think of his name. The Fire Nation, like
Zuko, the prince.
Zuko, yeah. I don't think he's going to end up being actually that bad. I think
he's like a whiny teenager right now.
Well, not even necessarily that, because like that's just being a teenager. But I just mean like, I think that either his father or somebody's going to come along that is clearly worse than him. Because like the uncle, right?
Well, I just mean on the show so far,
chill.
Though. Like who are you leaning towards being the bad guy? Is like so far.
I mean, it's got to be him, Zuko.
Okay.
I mean, that's all that I've seen, really.
Yeah, I want you to continue your thought because there was another big player, but you slept through those. Great. I just wanted to see if maybe you remember him because he's going to be a big part of this season going forward.
Wait, did I miss an episode with Mark Hamill?
No. He doesn't show up till season 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. No. Actually, so you think it's Zuko for right now, but there's definitely someone else. Continue that thought, and then I can tell you what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think Zuko is more or less being not controlled, but he's being led to think that this is really important and that like killing the Avatar and everything is important. But he's just trying to follow like a legacy that someone set up for him, which is probably his father, right? Father or grandfather. But like the uncle, I feel like is really chill and like not violent in the same way. So I think eventually he's probably going to lean more towards that. And if I was to guess anything, I'd say that he's going to be showing Aang like in the 3rd season or whenever he starts to learn fire bending. I'd say that he's probably going to be the guy that ends up teaching Aang how to firebend to defeat the bigger power.
You talking about Zuko or the uncle? Oh,
Zuko.
Okay, I just want to make sure because you were saying he, so
I feel like if Zuko like chills out a little bit and stops caring about killing everyone, I think he'd be really close to the uncle, and it could be like a cool dynamic where both of them are kind of teaching Aang firebending. But I don't really know for sure. Okay, something that's kind of unclear to me. This is super random, but so they have waterbending, but can they like how do they freeze water at the same time? Because I feel like they always freeze water too, but that's not like can you control that with waterbending? Like the temperature of the water or what?
So, there's coming up in the next few seasons, and I'm not going to really get into this. We start to dive into the actual properties that are associated with all of the forms of bending, and we start to learn more stuff associated with the types of bending, including like what you're asking about ice and temperature stuff.
Yeah. So we will learn more.
Basically, the characters learn that it's not just the basic forms, and they can manipulate more than just the outer stuff. You know, like we already saw when they were on the raft with all of the miners. Not miners as in children, but miners as in people they were forcing to mine. They took out rather than it just being dirt and rock for earthbending. They're like, oh hey, look, you have coal, you can earthbend this, and you know it's kind of like a gateway to look at.
Yeah, I think I was asleep for that episode.
Yeah, you definitely were asleep for that.
Because I do not remember that.
Yeah, no, there was a... Yeah.
For those that don't know me, I am not a good nap taker.
I recommend...
Trust me, falling asleep in the middle of an episode is not easy for me.
Before we definitely finish the season, I would recommend you just go back and rewatch the first 10 episodes just so you have a clearer palette of what I'm talking about. But our a main big bad, season 1, is Admiral Zhao. Oh, sorry, Commander Zhao. He's not Admiral yet. I kind of just spoiled that.
Well, he gets promoted at some point. That makes sense.
Yeah. And hold on, let me.
Does he have a hat?
No, he had He had a altercation with Zuko in the show. They did this form of I would say traditional combat, which is referred to as an Agni Kai, and in that, Zuko and Zhao fight with firebending, and it's supposed to be this big honor thing. If the opponent is downed, you're meant to like scar them, and that's why Zuko has the scar on his face. He lost one of these
the little
Agni
X?
Kais. What?
The little X on his face?
No, the scar like all the way across his eye.
Oh, on the eye.
Yeah.
Is there an X on his face too? Or does someone have an X on their face?
I definitely don't remember someone having an X on their face other than maybe a pirate.
I don't remember. I just remember someone having an X on their face, and I couldn't remember who it was now. Like by their left eye. I mean, their right, but our left. It's whatever.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, but in this altercation, we learned like Zhao is not a honorable man at all. He loses to Zuko, but Zuko sparingly doesn't like blast his face and give him a scar. He's just like, next time I won't be so courteous, and then turns his back. And upon turning his back, Zhao's like, you know what? This is just a kid. And he goes for another blast, trying to take this kid down. So it's establishing that not at all an honorable person. Something I really like about this, they pick a lot of people that are good at being villains. Do you know who Jason Isaacs is?
No.
Okay. He plays characters such as Lucius Malfoy.
Oh yeah. I know who that is.
Yeah. Among others, but yeah, no, he's our bad guy.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm really excited for these conversations over the next few episodes of this, because you said stuff that like I'm so glad you did say, because even while you weren't fully conscious for most of this watching, you still have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
I think that's really important for TV shows to do too, is to not keep everything so interwoven completely that if you miss a single thing, it'll get really confusing. Like, can you imagine watching Lost, missing one episode, and then coming back and be like, what happened here?
Why are they in Vegas?
It's just like, especially with TV like that, like, it's not super easy for people to always make it to every single episode premiere, or even when they play it back at a later point throughout the week. It's difficult sometimes. So I think it's really important to keep a story still connected and interwoven, but also like connect them without having to connect all the dots. You know what I mean? Kind of like Christmas lights, where they used to be like, if one light went out, the entire thing went out. Now if one light goes out, after it's fine. Yeah. It's like now if one goes out, it still can get energy for the rest of the lights from there on. I think that it's important to keep that style, like modern Christmas lights compared to old ones, because if you miss a single episode, someone might just get discouraged from watching anymore because they don't know what's going on. Whereas as long as it keeps the same like narrative through and through, and then just small character changes there and like from here and there, then people can still stay up to date with missing an episode.
Are we gonna coin this as the Christmas light effect? For shows?
Sure, that's a good idea.
Oh man,
I think sitcoms definitely have that kind of thing down.
We're going to definitely towards the last 3 episodes of this season, and then most of next season. It's very much going to be, if you miss something, you're going to be missing a lot, or it's going to take a little bit for you to catch up, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that makes sense too. As the series goes on,
This won't be happening like this either. You'll hopefully be fine by the next time we watch this, but
yeah, I just happen to be dying this week.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I literally cannot believe how like crazy those drugs made me. Like, why am I falling asleep? I never fall asleep.
They make you drowsy.
Really drowsy, I guess.
Yeah. Did you fall asleep yesterday too when we were trying to do this?
During the podcast?
No, not during the podcast, but like it was beforehand.
Yes, I definitely fell asleep twice yesterday. I fell asleep once on the couch when me and Emily were watching something, and then she left for work, and I fell asleep. And then I also fell asleep later that night at like 8 o'clock because Minnesota Rocker was playing, and then I fell asleep after their match.
I'm trying to think of like anything else to add into this. I mean, we did only watch the first 10 episodes. And I can't really say much more than this because I could dive into so much, but it would ruin the rest of the story, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm really excited to see where this goes because as we talk about it more, you remember when I had first finished the series about a year ago, and I was just like, oh, this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen?
Kind of. I mean, we barely knew each other a year ago, but yeah.
Yeah, but I talked about it a lot. I remember talking about it a lot. I watched it through twice.
You watched it through twice, like back to back?
Yeah, I watched it through once with one of our listeners, Alex, and my friend Ethan. And then I proceeded to watch it through a second time with my fiance.
Oh. I knew that you made her watch it. I just didn't know where that sat.
I made her watch it. She didn't willingly want to do it.
Clearly.
No, that's very true. She did not. She was like, I guess. And then we watched it, and she's like, it was all right. And I'm like, fine.
I like the Japanese influence that's clearly with it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the
Are you talking about art style
too.
or
art style, music, like just the overall influence that's clearly from Japan.
Well,
like not even necessarily the art style, but like obviously the art style is very anime reminiscent because it's basically based off of anime, but whatever. But like the actual environments too.
The actual world is split into like different themes. So like the water tribes, I believe take a lot of their inspiration from like Inuit settlements and stuff.
Yeah, like
whereas the Fire Nation has a lot of Japanese architecture and like inspiration from that. Whereas in the Earth Kingdom, that's more Eastern China and such like that. And then I believe, I may be mistaken, but I believe the air nomad temples and such are based off of I want to say Indonesian architecture.
That could make sense. I did see the air temple.
All of the nations have inspiration from actual Eastern European, Eastern Asian roots.
Yeah,
like they didn't want to just be like one piece. They wanted to actually spread it out and make it feel like a world that is adapted into its own beliefs and cultures and
I think a lot of stuff that's like that too is super cool. So like, this is obviously American made, but I know that a lot of the actual animation was outsourced to animation studios in the Asian area of the world.
Is that true?
That's what I took from when Corridor Crew watched it and like talked about the animation style for this in Legend of Korra.
Is that another? Okay, so after watching just this much, when we finished this whole series with the third book and we finished talking about all of that, is Legend of Korra something that you'd want to watch too? Or
possibly.
Is that up in the air?
I'd say it's more up in the air than this, because I know like this is supposed to be like 3 seasons of just beautiful golden television, and then Korra is just not as beloved, even though it's still just as good.
I wouldn't. From what I've seen of Legends of Korra, it's not a bad show. It's just not like in the same regard as this show. Like this show is very we have to bring the world back together kind of thing. Whereas from what I've seen in Legend of Korra so far, it's more of someone that's out of their element trying to make peace with the idea that the world is better off, but people are still in that mindset of like bending and all that stuff shouldn't be a big thing.
Yeah, no, I'd be interested in watching Korra. I just know that it's 4 seasons instead of 3. And I know the animation style, well, reminiscent of The Last Airbender, uses a lot more computer-generated stuff in it. And it's a lot more CG backgrounds.
It looks really different compared to, but I like to think of that as, so the world has developed almost 100 years since the Avatar world, and with that, I feel like the animation style is supposed to be more
modern too,
like mechanical compared to Last Airbender, where everything's like all flowing, and it still has that like taste of ritualistic world where, yes, we do have these coal-powered ships, but we don't have cars and all that stuff. And then Legend of Korra, we start to see more of that like steam-powered car stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think that wraps us up for this week, huh?
Yeah. What are we doing next week?
We are going to be doing something very exciting called the Suicide Squad.
I'm very excited.
I'm so excited for it. I really am.
Remember when we watched Birds of Prey?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I'm ready to watch this because I think this is going to be a lot better than Birds of Prey, too. I'm just really excited.
Marvel's going to have to step up their game. They might lose a fan.
Maybe. But thank you for joining us for this episode of Razzberry Tea Time. Make sure to stay up to date with us by following official Razzberry Tea Time socials on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links down below. You can find me, Spenny, on Instagram at Spenny_T_is_me and Twitter, SpennyT_is_me. Cameron, where can I find you?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, Apple_Raz. Might find me on Twitch sometime this week, twitch.tv/RazAppleNight. I have a lot of stuff in the pipeline. I don't know. There's a lot of work to be done, and the future of things are very bright.
Make sure to tell a friend about the podcast. Help us grow our community. Subscribe. Be sure to leave a review. We'd really appreciate it. And again, thank you for joining us for this episode. And like we say here at the end of every episode,
I am the Batman.